ولا يتاوون موتيا يغيظ الكفار ولا ينالون من عدو نيلا إلا كتب لهم به عمل صالح إن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين. Allah says that is because they neither suffer any thirst, nor fatigue, nor hunger in the cause of Allah, nor take any steps which increase the anger of the disbelievers or inflict injury upon an enemy, but is written to their credit as deeds of righteousness. And Allah lets not go in waste the rewards of the doers of good. Inna Allah la yudi'u ajra al-muhsinin. Allah gives good news to those who are fighting in His cause, who fought in His cause. Allah says, الذين آمنوا وهاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم أعظم درجة عند الله وأولئك هم الفائزون. Allah says, those who believe and suffer exile and strive with might and main in Allah's cause with their wealth and their persons will have the highest rank in the sight of Allah, and they are the ones who have achieved success. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, for the shaheed there are 6 virtues or rewards. He will be forgiven from the first drop of blood, and he will be shown his place in paradise. He will be protected from the torment of the grave. He will be safe from greater terror, and a crown of dignity will be placed on his head, of which 1 ruby is better than all this world and all that it contains. He will be married to 72 al-hur al-ain, and he will intercede for 70 of his relatives. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever fights for the sake of Allah, even for the interval of between the 2 milking of a camel, will be entitled to paradise. Whoever is injured for the sake of Allah, that injury will appear on the day of resurrection, bleeding copiously, with the color of saffron and fragrance of musk. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever removes the distress of a believer, Allah will remove his distress on the day of resurrection. Whoever makes things easy for those who are in difficulty, Allah will make things easy for him in this world and the next. Whoever covers the faults of the fellow Muslims, Allah will cover his faults on the day of resurrection. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I quote, Allah has slaves who are neither prophets nor martyrs, but both prophets and martyrs will envy them for their closeness to Allah. A Bedouin stepped forward and asked Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Rasulullah, tell us about these people. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was pleased with the Bedouin's question and said, these are the ones who loved each other purely for the sake of Allah. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam first said, they are from people who have no ties of kinship between them. They come from tribes and people who have no ties of kinship between them, but who love each other purely for the sake of Allah. On the day of resurrection, Allah will present them. Because of this, Allah will present them with pulpits of lights to sit on. Their faces will be light. Their faces will be of light, and their thrones will be of light. People will be scared on that day, but they will not be scared. They are the friends of awliya who have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. This is Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, those who are fair and just, those who are fair and just will be with Allah on the thrones of light, on the right hand of the most merciful, and both his hands are right hands. Those who are just in their judgment towards their families and any matter that was entrusted to them, unquote. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the muadhdhins, those who give adhan, the muadhdhins on that day will have the longest neck on the day of resurrection, a sign of beauty. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this al-ghurra and tahjil, that is white blaze and white limbs, will be special adornment of this ummah. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I quote, my ummah will be known as al-ghurra al-muhajjalun on the day of resurrection because of the traces of wudu. A man asked, O Rasulullah, how would you recognize your ummah from among other nations, from Nuh alayhi salam to your ummah? Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, their hands and their faces and their limbs will be shining with traces of wudu. And no one but only they will be like that. And I will know them because they will be given their records in their right hands, and I will know them because their children will be around them. I will continue with the day of Jerusalem.
We'll have a short break, but we'll have some refreshment upstairs if you kindly join us. And after the break, you may have questions and answers. And the last portion of his lecture, which will take about 10 minutes.
What is meant by reckoning and requital is that Allah Ta'ala will make His slaves stand before Him. He will make them stand before Him. He will remind them of the deeds that they have done, the faith or the kufr that they have followed, and He will tell them the reward or punishment that they deserve. Slaves will be given book in right hand if they are righteous, and left hand if they are evil. Some of the reckoning will be easy, some will be difficult. Some will involve honoring, and some will involve rebuking. Some will involve generosity, because the one who is in charge on that day is all too generous, the most generous. Allah, the majestic sovereign, will come down to the earth to pass judgments, and the whole earth will be shining with Allah's light, Allah's nur. The whole earth will be shining with Allah's nur. Allah says, وَأَشْرَكَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا وَوُودِيَ الْكِتَابُ وَجِيءَ بِالنَّبِيِّينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. Allah says, and the earth will shine with the light of its Lord, and the book will be placed open, and the prophets and witnesses will be brought forward, and it will be judged between them with truth, and no one will be dealt with unjustly, or no one will be wronged. Then in that judgment arena, the angels of the Most Merciful will carry books, will carry book of deeds, in which are recorded all deeds, words, and actions of mankind, which will be used by Allah Ta'ala against His slaves. This is a book which neither leaves a small thing or big thing out, but has recorded everything with numbers. Allah says in the Quran, وَوُودِيَ الْكِتَابُ فَتَرَى الْمُجْرِمِينَ مُشْفِقِينَ مِمَّا فِيهِ وَيَقُولُونَ يَا وَيْلَتَنَا مَا لِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ لَا يُغَادِرُ صَغِيرَةً وَلَا كَبِيرَةً إِلَّا أَحْصَاهَا وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. Allah says, and the book will be placed open. The book will be placed open, and the book will be placed open, and the mujrimeen, the criminals, will be fearful of what is contained therein. Mujrimeen will be fearful of what is contained